with names and addresses.
This is Kentfield as well. Yep.
George calls it potential leads on where this trash may have originated.
Yeah, this is the one on West Chicago. So we got two good addresses.
So imagine thinking you got away with dumping this material illegally, but yet you saved, I don't know, $200 by dumping it here as opposed to taking it to a city dump or to a dump that allows for construction debris to be dropped off, only to find out that there's somebody on the news calling out the address of where you got this material from, where this material came from. You're probably shaking in your boots now because you realize the city is not having it. If they catch you, and when they catch you, you're going to have to answer for yourself.
I'm trying to decide to take it all to one spot or maybe dump half on one lawn and half on the other. But this is just unacceptable. And we're not going to tolerate this kind of madness.
What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, Mayor of Flux City. Today we are reacting to a story over in Old Retford. And they are plagued, even to this day, with illegal dumping. And this has been a challenge that they've had to deal with for quite some time. But if you're not familiar with Old Retford, it is a neighborhood that has a vast amount of vacant parcels and also a handful of empty single family structures. And so a lot of these individuals who dump this illegal waste in this area assume that they'd be able to get away with this strategy of dumping this construction debris or whatever they're dumping, whether it be, I've seen boats dumped over here, cars, but there's a nonprofit over here that has been really active at trying to combat the illegal dumping over in this area because Old Retford has seen a huge spike in development. There are affordable housing projects that are happening in this neighborhood. There are cleanup initiatives that are really, really aggressive at focusing on keeping this community cleaned up and secure so the neighbors in the community feel safe. You have a community that is pretty well seasoned, right? These are individuals that have been in this area, in some cases 50 plus years. And so they've seen this community kind of go through the ups and downs, and where every block had multiple homes lining the streets, down to a scenario where in some cases, some blocks may only have 1-2 houses due to the downfall of the city that ultimately got us to a point where we lost a lot of housing stock. But at the end of the day, this is a community that cares, and there's an entity in this community that also cares. And so we're going to talk about what they're doing to combat illegal dumping. And this particular case is intriguing because they called the news out and they're going through the rubbish, and they're like, hey, look, this thing has an address on it. This box has an address on it. And so it looks like they're able to potentially track down where this rubbish came from. So let's check this out.
It's another case of illegal dumping in a Detroit community. And this time, some neighbors are threatening to track down the culprits and return their trash.
This is ridiculous. These people are dumping in a community that is fed up with this type of activity because they've had to deal with it for years. For somebody to come and dump all of this debris, construction material, and straight up garbage next to somebody's home, somebody's residence, this is extremely disrespectful. This is extremely disrespectful. And I'm hoping that they find the culprit that actually did this, because you just can't keep getting away with this type of activity.
I got a call from Detroit Blight Busters this morning saying they're fed up with the outsiders dumping trash and debris in their neighborhood. But what that team is uncovering right now are clues into what could possibly be behind some of that illegal dumping. And they told me that information is being passed along to police.
It's just so disheartening.
It's another dumping problem at the
Return to FDC. That's a clue. Is that fire department? I don't know what FDC stands for. Maybe I should Google it to see if we can track down what that ties back to. At the very least, that gives us a glaring clue right away.
Of Thatcher and Burgess in Detroit's Old Retford area.
I'm just sick and tired of it. You got broken glass, you got broken porcelain, you got trash, you got garbage.
And John George of Detroit Blight
And here's the crazy part about it. Behind this pile of debris, there's actually a separate pile of debris that somebody dumped prior to this pile of debris. And so this neighborhood is consistently dealing with this disrespect when it comes to people coming in and trashing their community. And of course, behind and beyond these two piles of rubbish, you have residential homes. You have people who are living there, kids, families, and they have to wake up and come out to see this type of disrespect within their community. This has to stop. Punishment for these types of activities need to be heightened in order for folks to realize you can't get away with this activity.
Busters is fed up with illegal dumping on vacant lots like this.
This is just completely ridiculous.
The piles of mess here, George says, dumped more than a week ago. A neighbor reported seeing a box truck leaving the trash and debris behind.
As we've been working in this neighborhood for a long time, clearing out the debris, making it safe for the youth, making it attractive to potential investors. And
Shout out to John George. He's been a part of that community for years. We're going to do a little more of a deep dive into the blight busters a little later in this video, but he is a person that genuinely cares about his community, and he does a number of things. Him and his organization do a number of things that beautify this neighborhood. And so unfortunately, he has to continuously figure out ways to clean up after these illegal dumpers, and that obviously takes resources.
this is not what we need in our neighborhood. This is taking us back.
This unsightly setback as neighbors work to fix up Old Redford.
We put in all new sidewalks. We tore down all the old dead trees. The city came in, did a lot of demolition work.
Neighbors are really trying, and Detroit Blight Busters wants the city and police to be more vigilant in tackling this type of community concern.
We should not have to deal with this. All you got to do is take it to the dump.
And in this dumped mess, George says his team uncovered some possible clues into the culprits.
Well, we got people's names here. This young man lives on Kentfield.
Packages
So somebody had the audacity to clean out whatever property that they were paid to do and just dumped everything without the assumption that they'd be able to get tracked down. But guess what? The materials that you threw away have addresses on them. If I find multiple materials with the same address, this kind of gives me an idea as to where this debris came from. And so this may ultimately allow for me to figure out who the heck is behind this illegal dumping here.
with names and addresses.
This is Kentfield as well. Yep.
George calls it potential leads on where this trash may have originated.
Yeah, this is the one on West Chicago. So we got two good addresses.
So imagine thinking you got away with dumping this material illegally, but yet you saved, I don't know, $200 by dumping it here as opposed to taking it to a city dump or to a dump that allows for construction debris to be dropped off, only to find out that there's somebody on the news calling out the address of where you got this material from, where this material came from. You're probably shaking in your boots now because you realize the city is not having it. If they catch you, and when they catch you, you're gonna have to answer for yourself.
I'm trying to decide to take it all to one spot or maybe dump half on one lawn and half on the other. But this is just unacceptable. And we're not going to tolerate this kind of madness.
And right now, Detroit Blight Busters wants folks to know that information they found has been reported to the city of Detroit and to police, and they continue urging neighbors that if you see anything suspicious, to report it immediately.
So once again, Blight Busters has been around for quite some time, doing a lot of work within this community, and so they're not new to this type of activity. But let's check out Blight Busters and kind of see how they progressed over the years, because this is a nonprofit that really has the respect of neighbors, the city, the state, the country. And so I think it's important, aside from this illegal dumping, I think it's important to just kind of expose you to all of the great things that Blight Busters has done up to this point. So let's check it out.
Since 1988, for more than 23 years, the mighty Motor City Blightbusters have specialized in it. During that time, John George and his charity group have totally transformed the look of Northwest Detroit, demolishing 300 abandoned homes.
Whoa.
Have totally transformed the look of Northwest Detroit, demolishing 300 abandoned.
Demolishing 300 homes. This was 14 years ago, but that is an impressive number, right? So this nonprofit has been putting in the work for years, and I think they said since 1988. So I mean, they've been around doing the work of the community for the community, and so this is not a new thing for them, but demolishing 300 abandoned homes 14 years ago, and so I'm assuming that number is probably closer to 400, maybe even 500 in today's time. Shout out to them.
Homes, renovating 425 more, and
Wow.
building more than 300 brand new homes, all
Wow.
by relying solely on your donations.
Coleman Young used to say, when the nation gets a cold, Detroit gets the flu. Well, we're suffering a double pneumonia right about now.
But despite all that good work to revitalize and clean up Detroit, the Blightbusters have fallen on hard times. They recently lost their headquarters building to bank foreclosure, along with several vehicles.
We had a situation with the bank where they called the note, and of course we lost the community center a number of years ago, and at that time they also
foreclosed on you?
They did, and they also took 4 of our vehicles.
And then just last week, they lost the very last pickup truck they had when the engine finally gave out completely.
And here's the challenge when operating a nonprofit. It could take years before you kind of have the type of support from a foundation or a number of entities that have the capacity to support your mission. But in his scenario and in the Blightbusters scenario, they were doing this out of the love for community. It's not an easy industry to operate within, especially when you're doing this type of work.
We use that truck to pull down houses and haul dump trailers and people and equipment and supplies and concrete and wood. We just wore it out.
Now, in order to continue their mission to revitalize and stabilize Detroit, John George and the Blightbusters desperately need a used pickup truck in good working condition to keep doing all the good work that they do.
It doesn't have to be cute, doesn't have to be pretty, but we're looking for a pickup truck that can haul dump trailers and materials, men, and supplies back and forth for our park work, for our demolition, for our cleanup work.
Once again, that was 14 years ago. Let's see what else we can find. So we were able to see all of the good work Blightbusters did 14 years ago. Let's see where they're at in 2025.
Right now, a local group known for helping neighbors remove blight and trash from their streets is launching a major community cleanup effort.
This is the work underway. Detroit Blightbusters is their name. They got a $1 million state grant to help beautify parts of Northwest Detroit.
$1 million. And that's hard work, dedication, showing up every day, even when you don't have the financial capacity to be doing what you're doing, but something keeps you pushing, something keeps you going. And so they were able to survive and thrive all the way up till now. And they, in turn, have a very bright future here in the city of Detroit. We're gonna highlight another feat that they were able to achieve as of recent after this video. I just wanted to show you that Blightbusters is alive and well.
Well, right now, it's all hands on deck in one area of Detroit where the group Blightbusters is committed to removing blight, debris, all kinds of issues in one community. But they have a major incentive to help make that happen. They are boots on the ground.
Good morning. Good morning.
The team from Detroit Blightbusters and some neighbors.
Today is volunteer day. Are you volunteering?
They're beginning to saturate an area of Old Redford this week, hyper-focused on...
Look at that. I mean, people would pull up to these homes in the Old Redford neighborhood and literally dump all of this debris and construction material in garages and driveways and backyards, in the actual homes themselves. Just insane how people treat these communities.
The goal will be to remove all of the negative energy from our community, so in that space we can make something positive happen.
This effort, according to Blightbusters founder John George, much different from the community cleanup work they've already been known to do nearly 4 decades.
Hey, Lonnie, John, is this stuff all going? Are you scrapping this?
And it's all thanks to a $1 million blight removal grant the nonprofit received from the state of Michigan.
Congrats on that $1 million grant.
thanks to support from local state lawmakers.
This grant is instrumental in our ability to hire and employ youth from the community, to continue this cleanup work, to be able to take this debris to the dump and get rid of it.
The grant-funded work is critical. The group will be cutting down dead and dying trees, trimming overgrown brush, and cleaning around vacant properties.
There are families that live here, and they have children that live here, and we cannot allow them to live in and around filth.
Look at that. That is debris that somebody pulled up, opened up the back of their box truck, and dumped in this neighborhood.
It shows the state needs to invest in small nonprofit communities, our CVI groups. People that are integrated into the community know the needs of the neighborhoods better than us.
So Blightbusters has been in this community for close to 4 decades, the old Retford neighborhood, and they've redeveloped and rehabbed single family homes, new construction properties. But this next example is even more impressive.
For months, CBS News Detroit has followed the transformation underway in the city's old Redford neighborhood, from the groundbreaking to the final phase of construction on a 48-unit housing development.
It's been amazing to see. In this week's Detroit Proud, Lauren Winfrey explores what this new development means for the community and the future of the city.
From busting blight to building something beautiful, one of the pioneers behind this project has been doing this work for decades.
You see that behind her? Wow. Talk about impressive, right? This is an entity that continuously fought for the community, fought for the neighbors in this area, fought against blight and illegal dumping, and still continues to do that work. Cut grass across this area to kind of keep the brush down as best as possible, and hired local individuals to help them put food on their table, and offered volunteer opportunities for corporations to come out and bring their staff out to help in order to assist with team building exercises, things like that. And for them to level up and get into the commercial development realm, kudos to them. Shout out to them for being in this space and getting to a point where they were able to accomplish what we're seeing here.
Down with John George to better understand how he went from tearing down vacant properties to constructing affordable housing, and why it matters so much for neighborhoods like this one in the city of Detroit.
To see this kind of development in the neighborhoods where we started is really exciting, to say the very least.
Excitement that's nearly 40 years in the making. John George, executive director of Detroit Blightbusters, isn't new to this. He's true to this.
We started this work 37 years ago because we didn't want our children growing up in and around that negative energy.
Blightbusters got its start back in 1988 when John and a group of neighbors boarded up a vacant house used for drug activity.
We love this city, we love the people of this city, and we just want to make sure that at the end of the day, we leave this neighborhood in just a little bit better shape than we found it.
And they are. One example, the Orchard Village Apartments. CBS News Detroit followed the progress through multiple phases. Now the brand new 48-unit affordable housing development is complete.
Wow, 48 new units that were added to this community thanks to this development, thanks to Blightbusters and their partners in this overall development. I mean, beautiful, beautiful work.
HN Housing partners to be able to put together quality, affordable housing, I think, is key to the rebirth of this neighborhood and any neighborhood.
Affordable housing remains one of Detroit's most urgent needs. According to data collected by the Urban Institute, since 2017, the average rent in Detroit has increased 55% for single-family homes and 43% for multifamily homes.
It's all about quality of life. Our children, all children, deserve to grow up in and around a neighborhood that's safe and clean.
I asked him, what makes him Detroit proud? And his answer speaks to what this city is all about.
People putting their petty differences aside and focusing and creating opportunity, creating spaces and places where all are welcome, and creating a Detroit that our children deserve.
I know I got a little bit off subject, but I just wanted to highlight the good work that Blightbusters does, and also highlight the fact that whoever dumped that illegal construction debris, you're probably going to get caught. You're probably going to get caught. And the reason being is you dumped that stuff in the wrong neighborhood. To people who are dumping illegally, maybe increase your price point and adjust your scope of work to allot for the ability for you to be able to afford to take that debris and dispose of it properly. Otherwise, there's a higher chance in 2025 that you're going to get caught. So thanks for listening to me ramble, and I'll see you in the next video.